And slide set up. Now, bunch of announcements. I think I may have done some of these before. I told you about Scholars Bowl before, right? Okay, so won't do that one again. Told you about Math Team, right? Okay, won't do that one again. The NASA Community College Aerospace Studies Program, Scholars Program. Told you. Okay, do you need any other information on that? If you got it, if you want it, it's here. Please come look. And the Board of Governors Federal Reserve System, the College Fed Challenge, and also Exploring Careers in Economics. Did we talk about those? No. Okay. That may have, yeah, I got this Wednesday morning, I guess, when it came in. This is a letter from, a package from the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System. I was like, whoa, what have I done wrong? Why are they writing me? But they have two programs, and I got a poster on each one. The first is the College Fed Challenge, okay? It's a competition in which the team acts as members of the Federal Open Market Committee, FOMC, and present their monetary policy recommendations to a panel of judges. The finals are hosted by the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve, and team members get to meet Fed Chair Jerome Powell, Mr. Jerome Powell, if he's blah, 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 okay? The second of these, and there's websites you can go to find out more information. So there it is, federalreserve.gov, okay? The second of these, Exploring Careers in Economics. This event offers students a chance to speak with research assistants, staff, and economists about the field generally, as well as career opportunities within the Federal Reserve System. And there's watch parties, campus visits, there's various things. If you want to find more information here, here's a live, some sort of broadcast, podcast, something like that. And there's websites to go to and other things like that. So if you're interested in these, papers will be up here. All right. And then this one came in today. Well, it came in earlier, but I didn't have a printer to print it on when I saw it. It's a pretty impressive deal. It's called Darkness into Life. It's the Alabama Holocaust Survivors Through Photography and Art, created by a Miss Becky Seitel, photographer, and Mitzi J. Levin, an artist. The Birmingham Holocaust Education Center has graciously loaned the Darkness into Life Alabama Holocaust Survivals Through Photography and Art exhibit to the Lawson State Community College Library. This sensitive exhibit of photography through bold and thought-provoking art, and yeah, it's not worded very well, offers a special glimpse into the private memories of 20 Holocaust survivors living in Alabama. The exhibit will be on display in the Lawson State Community College Library of the Birmingham campus. It's already there now, and it'll be there through September the 23rd. Esther Levy, who is a daughter of Tobai Kamornik Gerson, will speak about her mother's personal experiences as a Holocaust survivor. This event will take place on September 16th. Now, if this is right, this is a Saturday. Saturday at 5:30. No, that's not right. I'm sorry. The 14th is Saturday, so this will be Monday. Monday, September 16th, 2019. That'll be this coming Monday, 5:30 in the evening at the ACAT Technology Theater. That's on the Birmingham West Campus. Light refreshments will be served beginning at 5. Special exhibit pieces will be on display at the event, and it says, please join us there for this event. So invite anyone you know who might be interested in participating in this. It should be quite good and pretty incredible we've got it on our campus. Okay, any questions? All right. Sorry that took too long. Okay, did you finish the matrix or you want to do it now? The one that we were dealing with last time. Do it now. Okay. I'll write it down best of my memory of how we did it. And if you got anything that's different in it, let me know. All right. First row representing first equation, 1 minus 1, 1 with 4 zeros. 1 minus 1, 1 with 4 zeros. Okay. Second row, 1 minus 1, 0, 1. 1 minus 1, 0, 1 with 3 zeros. Third one, 0, 0, 1. 0, negative 1, 1. 0. Fourth entry, 3 zeros, 1 minus 1, 1. 1 minus 1, 1 with a 0. All right. Fifth entry. This is the one I reduced. Made it 1, 2, 4 zeros, and a 5. Okay. And the next one was a 0, 4, 1, 2, 2. All right, here's Charles. I know I had my pen here a minute ago. There it is. And by the way, there was one other student supposed to be in this class. 2, one is not paid, one has paid. I saw him in the hall 2 days ago, downstairs. I was Tuesday, and he said, "Oh, I'm supposed to be in your class, and my work schedule's kept me from coming, but I'm going to try to be there today." And he's not here, so don't know where he is. So I had to turn him in as a no-show because those were due tomorrow. Okay. All right, we're doing what we had done. Charles was start a matrix, and I've kind of messed up this side over here, so let me clean that up a little bit. This was a example 7 on page 31 in section 1.3. It's a series circuit, no, not a series circuit, a circuit that we're using Kirchhoff's laws to solve for the currents. And we have 6 different currents, and these are the equations that deal with those currents. And I'm on the bottom of page 31. We'd already set this up last time, but didn't have a chance to finish it. So the last 2 entries here are 0 and 17. And then the last row is 4 zeros. And then I divided by 2, made it 1, 2, 7. Now, that's pretty much how we did it. I think there was a couple of other places I had minuses, they had pluses or something like that. But it was the same matrix, give or take a constant factor on some row. Okay, plus or minus 1, dividing by 2, that kind of stuff. So here's the system of equations we're wanting to solve. Now we know that there is at least one minor problem with the system. What we have is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 variables. These are your 6 currents. These are your constants here. but we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 equations. One of these, at least one of these equations is unnecessary. We can't tell just looking at it which one it is, but when we start proceeding, I think that'll come to light. Okay? Now we want to row reduce this to find out each of these currents. Where would you begin? Yeah, upper left. What do we want there? A 1. Hey, he's here. All right.
I'll get my work schedule worked out. Usually kind of.
Okay. All right. Well, let's see. This is actually okay. And you have the book?
I should.
Okay. But I'm not sure. Oh, you mean on your computer? Huh?
What's the title of it again?
It's called Elementary Linear Algebra by Ron Larson.
Yeah, I should know that.
Okay. Now, Charles, did you have a book?
Yes, sir. I just got
Is yours the 8th edition or 7th?
I think I have the late.
The 8th.
Yeah, 8.
Okay. That's the one. I told the publisher it was my differential equations book. Didn't have the current edition, but it's this one. They said, yeah, that one's still in 11th edition, but this one had it upward. So
Which version is it?
it doesn't really matter. Yeah. What do you have?
I'm going to look at it right now. I'll get it on the
Okay.
check.
I have 7th. Charles has 8th. Okay. They're supposed to be sending me an 8th. I don't know if there's hardly any difference at all. Hardly ever is. They just make new editions so they can sell more new books. That's the only reason. They don't really change the math. Math hasn't changed that much recently. Okay. All right. So where we're going to begin is upper left. That's a 1. That's exactly what we want. What do we want to happen after that? Anybody? We use this 1 to make zeros underneath. Now we got 4 zeros underneath. We just got to change 2. So let's do the second row first. How can we use the top row to make the second row a 0? Anybody? Negative row 1 plus row 2 becomes the new row 2. And by the way, Peyton, since you just got here, and you go by Peyton, right? Okay, yeah. That's what my memory was, but I usually circle when students come in and tell me.
Yeah, I ended up having to drop the last.
What's that?
There was a crazy situation last grade. I'm going to drop in the middle. And
Yeah.
Doing this again the second round.
Right. Okay. What we're using are called the elementary row operations for a matrix. Basically, they mirror what we do when we're solving equations, but this would be miserable to solve as an equation. The elementary row operations help us. Here are the 3 ones. You can exchange any 2 rows at any time. No sweat. Okay? We don't need to do that here yet. We might later. We will later. Number 2, we can multiply any row by a non-zero constant. Now, that's the same as dividing any row by a non-zero constant. Okay? That's legal. Or, what we just did here, add a multiple of one row to another row. And that's what we just did here. We added a multiple of row 1, negative row 1, plus row 2. That's going to be the new row 2. So when you're working this out, and this is what takes so long with matrices, is writing the things out. You're using row 1, so don't change it. Write it down. 1 minus 1, 1, with 4 zeros. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay? Now, our new row 2 will be minus row 1 plus row 2. So what would the first entry be?
1.
Eh.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Minus row 1 plus row 2. Minus 1 plus 1. 0. How about the second entry? 0. How about the third entry? 1. How about the fourth entry? 1. Wait. The third entry was a minus 1, because it's minus row 1 plus row 2. Okay? And then the other 3 are zeros. All right. Third row was perfectly okay. It's got a 0 there in the first column, so we're going to write it down again. That's 2 zeros, a 1, another 0, and a minus 1, a 1 and a 0. Okay? The fourth row is good because it has a 0 in the first column, so we write it down. 3 zeros, a 1 minus 1, 1, and another 0. All right? The fifth row, we need that to become a 0, that 1 to be a 0. How do we do it? Minus row 1 plus row 5. Perfect. Minus row 1 plus row 5 is the new row 5. Okay, and what do you get when you do that? 0. What's next? 3. Minus a minus 1 is plus 1 plus 2 is 3. Next. Minus 1. Next. 0. Next. 0. Next. 0. And finally, 5. All right, everybody got that one? Okay. And the next 2 rows have zeros in the first column, so they're fine. We'll just write them down. 0, 4, 1, 2, 2, 0, 17. And 4 zeros, 1, 2, 3, and 4, 1, 2, 7. 1, 2, 7. All right. This is a big boo hiss. Yuck. I can't think of a worse situation to come up than this. What we want to happen next is the first non-zero entry in row 2 to be a 1. Well, this doesn't have a non-zero entry until row 3. That's till row 3. This is till row 4. This one has a non-zero entry in row 2, in column 2, and that one does too. And both of them are big numbers, and not huge numbers, but numbers that I'd rather not deal with, because what you would do is divide by 3 or by 4. Now, I'm going to show you a little trick that is legal, but it doesn't quite follow all the rest. It's a legitimate row operation. Okay? What I'm going to do is subtract, in other words, say minus row, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, minus row 5 plus row 6. What that does for me is get a 1 there. And that's going to be the new row 6. And that way I don't have to have the fractions. Not yet, anyway. And maybe I can avoid them altogether. That's usually not the way we do. We usually use our leading ones, but we don't have a leading one. So I'm going to produce one by doing that. So I'm going to use row 5 and say minus row 5 plus row 6 is the new row 6. That's legal. That's an elementary row operation. It's just not very, it's not sort of standard, but we're doing it. Okay? Let's see if we can squeeze this in here. This is going to be really tight, folks. I hope you can read it. We're not changing row 1, so that's a 1 minus 1, 1 with 4 zeros, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay? We're not changing row 2, so that's a 0, 0, minus 1, 1, 0, 0, 0. Not using 3, so that's a 0, 0, 1. 0, negative 1, 1, 0. Not changing 4, 0, 0, 0, 1 minus 1, 1, 0. Not changing 5 either. That's a 0, 3, minus 1, 0, 0, 0, 5. But we are changing row 6. The new row 6 is what? Minus row 5 plus row 6. 1, good, that's what we want. 2, that's okay. 2, that's okay. 2, that's okay. 0, and then 12. All right, not changing row 7, whatever that one is. 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 2, 7. Okay, I can tell now I'm not keeping my columns very well aligned. Keep me from making an error, okay? It's your responsibility, okay? Now I'm going to have to squish these down vertically because I didn't leave enough room here either. What do you reckon we're going to do next? The whole reason we went through this exercise is to give us the leading one. But we don't want it down here. Where do we want it? Up there. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rearrange some rows. I'm probably not going to do it as properly as I ought to, but I'm going to do it. So I want this to become my new row 2. So that's one thing. Row 6 becomes row 2. All right. Now y'all going to have to help me keep up with this because I'm going to be doing some wheeling and dealing here. Row 1 stays the same. 1 minus 1, 1 with 4 zeros. This is what takes so long. Okay, our new row 2 is going to be what was row 6, and that's a 0, 1, 2, 2, 2, 0, 12. I think that was, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, 12. All right. Then, here's where I'm going to be tricky here. I'm going to leave row 3 right where it is because I like that 1 there. Okay, so we're going to leave that one. 0, 0, 1, 0, minus 1, 1, 0. All right, and guess what? I like row 4 right where it is too, so I'm going to leave that alone. 0, 0, 0, 1, minus 1, 1, 0. All right. Now, here's where notice I moved row 6 to row 2, but I haven't done anything with row 2. So I'm going to move row 2 down to, what am I, row 5? Row 5. Just because I need to do something with it. So here it goes. 0, 0, minus 1, 1, and 3 zeros. All right. So that's my new row 5. Now let's move row 5 down to row 6. I could have done differently, but why not? 0, 3, negative 1, 3 zeros, and a 5, I believe it is. Okay? And then finally the last row is going to be 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 2, 7. I'm sorry it's getting pretty cramped. Okay? All right, let's do a quick review here. We got a 1 here and zeros below it. We finally got a 1 here. What do we need next? Zeros above and below it. So we're going to have to adjust 2 rows here, row 1 and row 6, I think it is. So let's deal with them. How do we get a 0 above that 1 here? Don't need to multiply a thing. Here, just add the 2 rows together. Row 2 plus row 1 is the new row 1. Right? That'll do it. All right. So since we are working on row 1, what's the new row 1? 1, 0,
1,
adding the two rows together. 3,
2,
2,
0.
2,
No, that was
the second 2,
it's gonna be 2.
okay, then a 0,
And I think that's 12.
12. You got it. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yeah. All right, this one's getting a little fatter here again. Row 2 stays the same because that's the leading 1. 0, 1, 2, 2, 2, 0, 12. Row 3 stays the same. 0, 0, 1, 0 minus 1, 1 and 0. Row 4 stays the same. 0, 0, 1, nope, 0, 0, 0, 1 minus 1, 1, 0. And row, whatever that is, 5 stays the same. 0, 0 minus 1, 1, 0, 0, 0. And we have to work on row 6 here. How do we do that? Using row 2.
We're going to
Take whatever number that is and negate it. Minus 3, row 2, plus row 6 is the new row 6. Because that will make this become a 0. Minus this times that. That's leading 1 is a positive 1. Minus that times that will make that a minus 3. Add to that and you get a 0. So it's always the opposite of this number you're wanting to change. If you got a leading 1 here, that's what we do. That's why I went to great ends to get a 1 here and did that. Okay? So minus 3, row 2, plus row 6 will be the new row 6. So what will it be then? Minus 3 times 0 is?
0.
Plus 0 is? 0. That's good. All right. Next, minus 3 times 1 is?
3.
Minus 3. Plus 3 is? 0. Right, that's what we want. Minus 3 times 2 is?
6.
Minus 6.
0.
Minus 6.
Oh,
Minus 1 is?
minus 6 minus 1.
Yep.
7.
Minus 7. Okay. Minus 3 times 2 is another minus 6. Plus 0 is minus 6. Minus 3 times another 2 is minus 6. Plus 0 is minus 6. Negative 3 times 0 is 0. Plus 0 is 0. And minus 3 times 12 is negative 36. Plus 5 is negative 31. I'm not liking that one at all. I hope I haven't made a mistake here. And then the last row is okay. 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 2, 7. All right. Now, step back and assess again. What did we want? Leading 1 here. 0 is below it. Got it. What do we want next? Leading 1 here. 0 is above and below. Got it. This is why I arranged them this way. What do we want next? A leading 1 here. But we want zeros up here and down here. Okay? So we're going to use row 3 to work on that one, this one, and that. So let's do one at a time. That first row, how are we going to use row 3 to make that 3 become a 0? Row 3, that leading 1 to make that 3 become a 0. Minus 3 times row 3 plus row 1. See? Whatever that number you're wanting to change, and you got a leading 1 down there, do minus 3, row 3 plus row 1 is the new row 1. All right? So let's do it to it. Okay? Minus 3 times 0 is? 0 plus 1 is? 1. Minus 3 times 0
0.
plus 0 is 0. Minus 3 times 1
3.
minus 3
Minus
plus 3 is 0. Minus 3 times 2 is minus 6 plus 2 is minus 4. Minus 3 times 2, minus 6 plus 2 is minus 4 again. Minus, let's see, I think I messed something up here. I skipped a row. A column, I'm sorry. Let me erase and go back. Okay, wait one. Big matrices are hard to do this way. Yeah, that third one's the one I think I missed. Okay. All right, back up now. Minus 3 times 1.
3. Minus 3.
Where am I? Oh, row 3. That's where I was messing up. That is a 0. That was right. Okay. All right. Minus 3 times 0 is 0 plus 2 is 2. That's where I was messing up. Minus 3 times a minus 1 is, minus 3 times minus 1 is 3 plus 2 is 5. 5. Okay. Minus 3 times minus 1 times a 1 is a minus 3 plus 0 is minus 3. And minus 3 times 0 is 0 plus 12 is 12. All right. I think I got it right then. Okay. Now, the second row is perfectly fine. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. The 1 is fine, but the 2. So how do we get this 1 down here in row 3 to make that 2 become a 0? Minus 2 times row 3 plus row 2 is the new row 2. All right, let's do it to it. Minus 2 times 0 plus 0. All right. Minus 2 times 0 plus 1 is 1. Okay. Minus 2 times 1 minus 2 plus 2 is 0. Good deal. And minus 2 times 0 is plus 2 is 2.
Plus 0.
Yeah. All right. Minus 2 times a minus 1 is, minus 2 times minus 1 is,
1.
minus 2 times minus 1.
Oh, 2.
2 plus 2 is
4.
4. Hey, 2 plus 2 is 4. We got that down. Okay. Minus 2 times 1 is
2.
minus 2 plus 0 is minus 2. And minus 2 times 0 is 0 plus 12 is 12. Boy, that 12 is hanging in there tight, isn't it? All right. Now, row 3 is the one we're using. We write it down. 0, 0, 1. 0 minus 1. 1, 0. Okay? Row 4 is perfectly okay because it's got a 0 under that 1. So we write down 3 zeros. 1, 2, 3. A 1 minus 1, 1, 0. Okay. Row 5 we need to work on. We want that minus 1 to become a 0 using the 1 up here, so what do we do? Use that 1 to make that minus 1 a 0. What do we do? Not multiply it. Add it. Row 3, 1 times row 3, just 1, plus row 5 is the new row 5. Just add those two rows together. 0 plus 0 is? Okay. 0 plus 0 is? 1 minus 1 is? 0. 0 plus 1 is 1. Where am I? There I am. Minus 1 plus 0 is? And 1 plus 0 is? 1. And 0 plus 0 is? 0. All right. Then I'm going, ooh. All right. I need to work on that minus 7, make that become a 0. Using this 1, leading 1 up here. How do we do that? How do we do it? Okay. Take the opposite of this number. Opposite of minus 7 is 7. 7 times this row with the leading 1 in it, that's row 3, plus this row we're dealing with, row 6, and that becomes a new row 6. That's what we're going to do. 7 times row 3 plus row 6. So 7 times 0 is?
7.
Second? 0 plus 0 is? 0. 7 times 0 is? Plus 0 is? 7 times 1 is? Plus a negative 7 is? 0. Good. 7 times 0 is? Minus 6 is? Minus 6, right? 0 minus 6 is minus 6. 7 times minus 1 is? Minus 7. Minus 6 is minus 13. I'm not liking that. Okay. 7 times a plus 1 is 7, plus 0 is 7. Yuck. And 7 times 0 is 0, minus 31. I was hoping to get rid of that, but we have it. Minus 31. All right. The bottom row we can leave alone because it has a 0 in that third column. So that's 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 2, 7. All right. Now, I just want you to step back. You've probably gotten so focused now. Step back and see if there's anything that looks a little suspicious to you or unusual to you. These two rows are identical. So if you do a minus 1 times this, add it to that, you wipe out the row. That all becomes zeros, right? So that row of all zeros, we're going to move to the bottom. That's one of the rules for row reduction. Any row of all zeros, move to the bottom. The other rules are leading 1 should be stepping down. All numbers above and below leading 1 should be 0. That's what we've been working on. And then the leading 1 should be stepping to the right every time. That's what we've been working on. Okay? So, without doing it, I'm going to do that. I'm going to take this row here, make it all zeros, because when you do minus 1 times this one, add it to this one, this all becomes zeros. Okay? And then I'm going to move it to the bottom. So that's going to be what happens next. But I don't have any room left, so I'm going to go back to my upper left and erase my original, which I hate to do, but I have no choice. Now, this is going to take way too long to erase. Oops, I got too much. I don't think there's any row that's been unscathed, so we're going to erase them all. Okay, I'm going to condense them some too. All right. I'm going to go and erase. I'll erase that. My eraser disappeared. Nope. Okay. I'm going to condense them a little bit. Okay. Top row stays the same. 1, 0, 0, 2, 5, negative 3, 12. Now, I hope I haven't made a dumb mistake. If I have, we're in serious trouble. 0, 1, 0, 2, 4, negative 2, 12. 0, 0, 1, 0, negative 1, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, minus 1, 1, 0. And then that next row is one going to the bottom is all zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, 7 zeros. Okay, now we'll move up this next row. Do I have them right? I think so. 0, 0, 0, negative 6, negative 13, 7, negative 31. I wish I could make that all zeros. That's a real pain in the neck. And then this one would be 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 2, 7. All right. So I did that to get that out. Now, what's the next thing we need to do, folks? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, after this, is it all right if I just leave off the zeros at the bottom? Because we're not going to ever use them. So after this one, I'm not going to write those anymore. So then I'm going to have a 6 by 7, which is exactly what we want. Because that last column there is constants. Okay? First 6 columns are our variable columns, and so we only need 6 rows. 6 variables, 6 equations. Okay. So you tell me what I've got to do next. I'll erase all this. And if I've made a dumb mistake here, I'm not going to go back and find it. I'll let y'all find that for your homework or something like that. But I'm not about to go back through this again. But I did want to show you it's doable. You have to be careful. You have to do diligent, with your math. Okay. All right. Quick review. Nothing I do is very quick. Okay? Leading one here, 0 is below. Leading one here, 0 is above and below. Leading one here, 0 is above and below. Leading one here, but here's where we run into problems. We need to get that 2 to become a 0. This 2 to become a 0. That 0 is fine. I like it. I think that's a 0. I sure hope it is. It's not a 9, is it? Okay. That's negative 6. We need to become a 0. That 0 is fine. We're going to drop that row altogether. So not going to do anything with that. So using this 1, we need to make that 2 become a 0. How do we do that? Second? By what?
1.
No, negative 2. Negative 2, row 4 plus row 1 is the new row 1. Okay? So we're using row 4. So let's do it. Negative 2 times 0 is, plus 1 is 1. Negative 2 times 0 is, plus 0 is, okay, that was easy. Negative 2 times 0, plus 0 is 0. Now we hit it. Negative 2 times 1, negative 2, plus 2 is negative 2 plus 2. You lost 2 marbles, you gained 2 marbles. What have you got left? You're at 0 marbles. Okay. All right. Negative 2 times negative 1 is negative 2 times, I hope that's a 1, times negative 1 is 2 plus 5 is 7. I may have misread some of my numbers. I hope not. Negative 2 times 1 is negative 2. Plus negative 3 is negative 5. And negative 2 times 0 is plus 12 is 12. 0 plus 12 is 12, right? Now, row 2 also has a non-zero entry above that leading 1, so we need to change it. How do we change it? What do we multiply row 4 by to change that 2 to a 0? Row 4 has a leading 1 there. Negative 2, row 4, plus row 2 is the new row 2. So negative row 4, that's negative 0 plus 0 is 0. Negative 2 times 0 is plus 1 is 1. Negative 2 times 0 is plus 0 is 0. Negative 2 times 1 is negative 2. Negative 2 times 1 is negative 2, right? Plus 2 is 0. All right. Negative 2 times negative 1 is negative 2 times negative 1 is plus 4 is 6. Negative 2 times 1 is negative 2 minus 2 is negative 2 minus 2 is minus 4, right? Okay, and minus 2 times 0 is plus 12 is 12. Okay. Now, row 3 already has a 0 above that leading 1, so we're going to leave it right there. That'll be a 0, 0, 1, 0, minus 1, 1, 0. Okay? Row 4 is the one we've been using, so we leave that alone too. 0, 0, 0, 1, minus 1, 1, 0. All right. Row 5. It has a minus 6 below that leading 1. How do we get that minus 6 to become a 0? Take the opposite of that number. 6 times the one with the leading 1 in it, row 4, plus this row, row 5, and that becomes your new row 5. So let's do it. 6 times 0 is? Plus 0 is? 0. Perfect. 6 times 0 is? Wait, here. Yeah, plus 0 is 0. And then 6 times 0 is? Plus 0 is? And then finally 6 times 1 is? 6. Minus 6 is? 0. And the next one. 6 times minus 1 is? 6 times minus 1 is? Minus 6. Right? Minus 13 is minus 19. Minus 6 minus 13 is minus 19. 6 times 1 is 6 plus 7 is 13. And 6 times 0 is plus or minus 31 is minus 31. Why can't we get rid of that? Okay, or reduce it or something. All right. That last row is perfectly fine. 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 2, 7. I'm leaving off the 0 row from now on. Okay. So, let's see what we're going to do next. I'm going to erase all these. All right. Get my pen back. Okay. Now, stop. Do an assessment. Leading one, zeros below it. Leading one, zeros above and below it. Leading one, zeros above and below it. That is a zero, by the way. Leading one, zeros above and below it. What we want next is the leading one here. We don't have one. But look at what we've got here. A leading one. So let's just flip these two rows. Because that's another legal move. Exchange two rows. I don't want to divide by negative 19. Okay? So I want to flip rows. Okay? You all right with that? Okay, we're going to do that. We're going to flip those two rows. I hate to do all that writing, so if it's okay, I'm just going to flip them here. Is that all right? So what it is row 5 and row 6 exchange. Row 5 exchanges with row 6. So the 0, 0, zeros are all fine. That 0 is fine. This one becomes my 1. And this one becomes my minus 19. Okay. This one becomes my 2. Whoops. Yuck. Okay. Okay. This becomes my 2, and that becomes a 13. So remember that. 2 on top, 13 on bottom. 2 on top, 13 on bottom. And then we'll do the same thing here. Minus 31 goes downstairs, 7 goes upstairs. Minus 31 downstairs, 7 upstairs. 7 upstairs, minus 31 downstairs. Okay, I just exchanged those two rows. All right. Now, another quick assessment. It's not that quick. Ones and zeros, ones and zeros, ones and zeros, ones and zeros, one and a bunch to change to zeros. In fact, every one of them are going to have to change, right? But we do them one at a time, so we can just use this one row. It stays the same. We're going to change every other row. Every other row. Okay, that top row. How do we get that 7 become a 0 using that 1? Negative 7 times row 5, is that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Yeah, row 5 plus row 1 is the new row 1. All right. The hard part here is keeping up with the rows because they're so far apart. Negative 7 times 0 is? 0 plus 1 is? 1. Okay. Negative 7 times 0 is?
0.
Plus 0 is? 0. Negative 7 times 0 is?
0.
Plus 0 is?
0.
All right. Going well. Negative 7 times 0 is?
0.
Plus 0 is? See, they get pretty easy toward the end because there's lots of ones and zeros. Now we hit it. Minus 7 times 1 is? Minus 7 plus 7 is? Minus 7 plus 7 is 0. Okay? And minus 7 times 2 is? Minus 14. Minus 5 is minus 19. I'm not liking this. Minus 7 times 7 is?
0. Minus 7 times 7.
Yeah.
49.
Negative 49 plus 12 would be negative 37, I think. I'm not liking it. Okay? Too big of numbers. All right, now we go to row 2. We want that 6 to become a 0. How do we make that 6 a 0 using that 1? Negative 6 times row 5 plus row 2 is the new row 2. Okay, so let's do it. Negative 6 times 0 is?
0.
Plus 0 is? 0. Now after a while, don't you see you can just write down. So that'd be a 0, 1, 0, 0. Right? Those four numbers do not change. So let's go to the fifth number. Negative 6 times 1 is
6.
negative 6. Plus 6 is
Negative 12.
negative 6 plus 6.
Oh, 0.
0. Okay, that's why we did it. Okay, negative 6 times, which is it, 2, is negative 12 minus 4 is minus 16. Negative 6 times 7, negative 42 plus 12 is negative 30. Boy, that last row is getting big, isn't it? All right. We've taken care of row 2. Let's move to row 3. We want that minus 1 to become a 0. Using this 1, that's going to be pretty easy. What do we do? What do we do to get this to become a 0 using that? Just add them together, right? Minus 1 plus 1 is 0, right? So that's going to be row 5 plus row 3 is the new row 3. Okay? And 0 plus 0 is 0. 0 plus 0 is 0. 1 plus 0 is 1. 0 plus 0 is 0. And now we get minus 1 plus 1 is? Minus 1 plus 1 is? 0. And then we get a 1 plus 2 is 3. And a 0 plus 7 is 7. All right. Come back. All right. Now, the next one, just as easy. How do we get that negative 1 to become a 0 using that positive 1 below it? Add them together. 1 plus 1, negative 1 is 0, right? So we'll do row 5 plus row 4 is the new row 4. Okay? And 0 plus 0 is 0. 0 plus 0 is 0. 0 plus 0 is 0. 1 plus 0 is 1. And minus 1 plus 1 is 0. And 1 plus 2 is 3. And 0 plus 7 is 7. Okay. I almost looked at this and had a heart attack and thought the two rows were identical. They're not. The last three numbers are identical, but the first, offset, the leading ones are in opposite places. Okay, we've been using row 5. We leave row 5 alone. Okay, that's a 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 2, 7. And now we need to get that minus 19 to become a 0. How do we do that? Yes, 19 times row 5 added to row 6 is going to be the new row 6. Okay? And when you do 19 times 0, 0 plus 0 is 0. 19 times 0 is 0 plus 0 is 0. 19 times 0 is 0 plus 0 is 0. And 19 times 0 is 0 plus 0 is 0. And 19 times 1 is 19 minus 19 is 0. Ding, ding, ding. 19 times 2, 38 plus 13 is 51. I'm not liking this. Okay? And then, negative 31 plus 7, that's negative 24, right? That's getting a little better, but still not liking it. Oh man, do I ever hate it. Because now I got a 51 times, I think I've made an error. I know I've made an error. because this says 51 times I6 is equal to negative 24. That's not going to happen. Okay, I'm not about to go through and back up because I already erased too much, but you got the idea. That's the way you proceed. Just don't make any errors. Okay, that's the key. Don't make errors. I must have made one somewhere. Probably I wrote a number and misread it, but you know. What's that? I can't hear you. No, all they have is the matrix, and then they go, using Joust-Gordon elimination, a graphing utility or a software program, solve this system to obtain blah. Okay?
Is this like the same interpretation like if you're taking circuits?
Say this again?
Would this be the same concept or the same process you use to analyze an electrical circuit?
Yeah, this is doing an electrical circuit. This is
really, really expanded Boolean algebra or truth tables of matrices.
right. Yeah, and graphing utilities will do matrices of, I don't know, there is some limit, but they'll certainly do a 7 by 7, and that would have been a piece of cake for it. I didn't have one, and so we tried it by hand, and obviously made an error. But that's the procedure. Okay, just don't make an error. Okay, that's all. Okay, I'm not going to give you any this hard on the test or this long on the test, but this is, you should have gotten I6 equal 2. That's not going to give you 2. Okay, I5 would have been 3, I4 was 1, I3 was 1, I2 was 2, and I1 was 1. So, sorry. That finished 1.3. Homework exercises here, you can do, if you want to do polynomial fitting, we didn't do any, but you can do any of the odds 1 through 11. You can do any of the odds 13, and the answers are in the back of the book. They're also at calcchat.com. 13 or 15 should both be at CalcChat. 17 should be at CalcChat. That's a population problem. Profit problem number 19, guided proof number 21. They should all be at CalcChat. A calculus problem 23, 25 should be at CalcChat. There's a network analysis at either 27 or 29. Do either one of those that you wish. And then Kirchhoff's law network analysis 31 or 33. Okay? None of these are as complicated as the one we just did. Temperature, 35. Partial fraction decomposition, 37. All should be at CalcChat. And another calculus exercise using the Lagrange multiplier lambda, and that's 39. You don't have to do that, but you certainly could. That finishes Chapter 1. Okay? In Chapter 1, if you want more review exercises, any of the odds 1 through 5 are at CalcChat. 7 should be at CalcChat. Any of the odds 9 through 19 should be at CalcChat. 21 should be at CalcChat. 23 should be at CalcChat. 25 or 27 should be at CalcChat. Any of the odds 29 to 37 should be at CalcChat. 39 or 41 should be at CalcChat. Any of the odds 43, either 43 or 45 should be at CalcChat. Any of the odds 47 through or 49 should be at CalcChat. 51's a writing problem. If you want to look at that, you can. 57's a sort of an esoteric one. 53, you can look at that if you want to. 55's a true-false. Look at that, see if you can figure it out. 57's a sports problem. It should be at CalcChat. 59's partial fraction decomposition. It should be at CalcChat. Polynomial curve fitting. 61's at CalcChat. A couple of problems, 63 and or 65 at CalcChat. 67, network analysis. That's a Kirchhoff's rule. That should be at CalcChat. And that's it. Now, did I give y'all your test last time? Chapter 1 test. You weren't here, so let me see. Pretty sure I made one out for you. but finding it is the other issue. Or did I just happen to have 2 copies on hand for you 2 guys? Can I see one of yours? Do you have it with you? Did y'all both get one?
I have one, but I was written on
I just want to see, make sure. I've got a couple different tests. I'm going to try to get the same one.
Oh,
Okay, that's. I'll have to make you a copy. Yeah, that's this one. I'll have to make you this. You got one. You got one. But you didn't. Let me go make a copy. All right, you through with it?
Yeah, I worked on it as soon as I got
Wow,
it.
okay.
I worked through the weekend.
All right, are we out of time?
Yes, sir.
Oh my goodness, look at that. I haven't finished eating
I
lunch
put the
yet
remaining
either.
of the answers.
Okay, good. Thank you much.
Thank you.